What's going on, my trainer club? Today we're going to check out best of the best. Is Conkeldurr worth powering up in Pokemon Go? So welcome to the trainer club. Here we go. Welcome back, everybody. Let me know in the comments below. Have you done a Timber raid? Where are you at with Conkeldurr? And have you got some more Gen 5 Pokemon? I can't wait to see what you guys have been doing in the comments below. So I just want to take a moment and say I appreciate all you guys. Before we get into everything, I just want to let you know that I have a Discord set up that is free to join. You guys can come check it out. And some of you guys may be slightly frustrated as far as how YouTube pushes my videos to you guys. So if you want to be up to date and get my videos instantaneously, I have a channel set up in my Discord. That is all you have to do is turn on your notifications for that channel with my YouTube videos, and they will push as soon as I post my videos. They are literally simultaneously posted and you will be notified immediately. So if you want to stay the most up to date on all my current videos and get them as soon as they post, you definitely want to get into my free Discord. We have friending places where you can keep track of your friends and you can rank up with players from international locations and you can communicate with them. We also have a general chat, and my favorite, which is a new thank you to Matthew and Ruben, some friendly competitions in there as well, where we post our wins as far as duoing, trioing, and soloing different raid bosses. So definitely get in there right now. So today we're going to get into the best of the best with the Conkeldurr in Pokemon Go, because we previously had Machamp as the reigning supreme fighting attacker, and then we had Lucario that was kind of so-so, but then it got bumped with Aura Sphere, and now we have Conkeldurr out, which has some pretty amazing stats. So where is it going to sit, and how is it going to stack up against Lucario with the new amazing move that it has? Because the stats seem to be better. So the overview is going to look like, we're going to check out the stats, we're going to check out the best moves, then we're going to go DPS TDO, DPS times TDO, the best moveset, as well as the stat comparison overall. And then we're going to get into my recommendations as far as powering it up for meta attackers and then for PvP as well. So as far as the stats, here we go. Conkeldurr is going to max out at 3,337 at a 100% IV at the absolute top. So it's definitely pretty high up there. It's going to be the highest CP fighting attacker besides any legendaries that are going to be out right now. Since it's a fighting Pokemon, it's going to be weak to Psychic, Flying, and Fairy. It's going to have an attack of 243 that's going to be ranked 57, a defense of 158 that's going to be ranked 248, and a stamina of 233 that's going to be ranked 42. So the stats look pretty good. The defense is a little bit down there, but the attack and the stamina look really good and really positive. If we are going to compare it to the Lucario is going to have an attack of 237, a defense of 144, and a stamina of 172. So as far as the attack, defense, and stamina, the Conkeldurr is going to be reigning supreme as far as the stats go, but the moves always make or break the Pokemon, so I can't wait to get into that. But as far as the best moveset for the Conkeldurr, it is going to be Counter and Dynamic Punch with a DPS of 16.852 and a DPS times TDO at 2401. Then Counter Focus Blast, it does get a 1 charge move, which I don't know why you guys would use that, but it's going to be 1832, so 600 points below, going from a 2-bar special that's effective to a 1-bar special. Then we're going to go Conkeldurr Poison Jab, it actually gets with Dynamic Punch, 1733, Poison Jab Focus Blast, 1177, yikes. And then we have Conkeldurr Counter Stone Edge, 1137. Old Machamp move. I'm glad that Machamp now has Rock Slide, which is really fun to fight with. And then we also have the Conkeldurr with the Poison Jab Stone Edge, the lowest at the 661, which is 1800 below the top. So now that we know the best moveset with the Counter and Dynamic Punch, we are now going to look at the stats, comparing it to the best fighting attackers, because Poison, it's not going to get Stab, and we're not going to get too much effectiveness from that rock because we have some beast rock attackers. So as far as the DPS, the TDO, DPS times TDO, like I said, if you have already been with me for a while, you understand these concepts, definitely check out the pinned comments below. You can skip over this introduction and you could get right into the stats. But if you want a refresher or you are new here and you want to understand them, that's what we're going to go over right now. So as far as the DPS goes, it stands for damage per second. Damage per second means, including the stab effectiveness, same type attack bonus, with Conkeldurr being fighting, getting fighting moves that's going to boost its power in attacking. It's going to take into account a 1 attack. How powerful can doing 1 special be for this Pokemon? Which is effective, but only accounts for really like glassy Pokemon. Something like a Deoxys can have a really high DPS, but it's not gonna fare weight in the TDO, which is the next stat we're gonna check out, which is total damage output, which means over the entire lifespan of the Pokemon, which takes into account more tanky Pokemon, such as Lugia, how much damage can it do? So you see the benefit to measuring the DPS because we see how powerful an attack could be. You see the benefit to the TDO, which is over the lifespan, but individually, they don't really weigh out too well. The best comparison is going to be combining those two for the DPS times TDO, which is going to be over the lifespan of the Pokemon, taking into more account of how effective the Pokemon's moveset is, how much damage can it do, which is going to be the best analysis, but then we have to take it one step further as trainers, using our trainer brains and seeing, okay, is this Pokemon using a 1-bar move or a 2-bar move? Is it going to be more effective to use a slightly less statistical Pokemon to maybe the second place for the 2-bar charge move so it doesn't die out middle of a special and have wasted energy using it as an attacker or even as a PvP type Pokemon. So we're gonna get into the DPS right now for the Conkeldurr. Let's check it out fighting. Here we go. Sitting at the top, we have the top DPS. Lucario, counter Aura Sphere, 18.621. Wow, that's pretty dominant. Next, sitting in second place, we have the Conkeldurr counter Dynamic Punch at 16.852. So obviously Lucario is dealing more damage as far as the damage per hit compared to the Conkeldurr. So we'll see where it weighs out. Then we have Breloom counter Dynamic Punch at 16.572. And then we have the previous reigning supreme best attacker for fighting category, Machamp, counter Dynamic Punch, 16.211. And then we have Machamp with Karate Chop, Dynamic Punch, 15.931. And then Conkeldurr with the counter Focus Blast, 15.75. Then we have Blaziken, counter Focus Blast at 15.412. And then Hariyama at counter Dynamic Punch at 15.19. Then Toxicroak, Meloetta in the pirouette form. And then if you want to go to the second page, you could check out something like the Heracross at the counter Close Combat. Unfortunately, Close Combat brings down the value of that Pokemon, 14.298. And then if you want to check out anything like the Emboar, you can go here. Or if you want to go to the third page and check out something like the Sock, which is a new Pokemon, 13.663, you can go ahead and pause here and check out anything else. There it is, guys, for the DPS. We have sitting at the top the Lucario. So although we have better stats on the Conkeldurr, you see that the DPS one hit from that Aura Sphere is doing more damage than the Conkeldurr can do with more effective stats. So now, like I said, that is going to be, as far as fighting goes, as far as the attackers go, one hit. Now we want to look at the TDO, which is going to be over the lifespan of the Pokemon. How effective is the Conkeldurr going to do as far as TDO? And with the stats being higher in some of these categories, we may expect it to be better. So let's check that out right now. Checking out TDO, guys, no surprise here as far as checking out the stats because they're pretty beastly. We have the Conkeldurr counter Dynamic Punch at 501.7. Then we have Meloetta, which is not out yet. Low Kick, Close Combat, not the best moveset, but it's still sitting at 499. Then we have Conkeldurr counter Focus Blast at 468. Then we have the Machamp counter Dynamic Punch at 434. Then we have Hariyama, which typically was a little bit more of a tanky Pokemon, but it sits below all these other ones at counter Dynamic Punch at 431. Then we have another Machamp, Hariyama. Then we have Heracross coming in, counter Close Combat at 394. And if we're gonna go to the second page, sitting in the 11th spot, we have the Lucario with counter Aura Sphere at 384. So there's a pretty big difference, about 120 points difference between that Lucario and that #1 spot as the Conkeldurr. We're gonna see how it weighs up. And then if you wanna keep going here, you can check out like an Emboar, Low Kick Focus Blast at 360. We have the Throw in there, Low Kick Focus Blast, which is more of a tanky Pokemon, but definitely not going to sit at the top. And then if you want to go to the third page, you can see the Lade, the Blaziken, Toxicroak, the Poliwrath, the Sock, sitting all in here. And if you want to pause here, you can definitely check it out. But I want to point out one thing. Lucario, previous to the moveset bump, counter Close Combat, 296. So that Aura Sphere did a tremendous job at boosting up the Lucario as far as its moves go. The TDO is going to be heavily favored for the Conkeldurr in Pokemon Go. So now what are we thinking, guys? What do you think? Drop in the comments and let me know. And see, do you think that the Conkeldurr is going to hold weight? Or do you think that the Lucario, or do you think that Conkeldurr is going to blow past it because we saw it in the second spot as far as the DPS, that we saw it in the first spot as far as the TDO, we saw Lucario in the first spot, and then we saw it in the 11th spot. So what is it going to be, guys? And the Conkeldurr stats are going to be better than the Lucario overall. I can't wait to show this to you guys because it's really going to blow your mind. So now let's check out DPS times TDO, the best statistical analysis, and then we'll analyze it for PvP and meta attackers. What's it going to be best for? So let's check it out right now. The number one spot, guys, you're not going to believe this. Sitting at number one is still Lucario, counter Aura Sphere at the 2480.6. Guys, I can't explain this enough, how powerful the moveset combination is. So although Lucario is going to die out quicker, over that shorter lifespan, it's going to do more damage than a Conkeldurr sitting in the second place over its longer lifespan with a less effective moveset, which is absolutely crazy. Counter Dynamic Punch 2401, so it's not that big of a difference, but it is a difference. And then in the third spot, previous reigning supreme, Machamp, counter Dynamic Punch 1851. Then we have Conkeldurr, counter Focus Blast 1832. Machamp with Karate Chop. Then we have Hariyama, counter Dynamic Punch 1511, really far down there, 1,000 points below that Lucario and Conkeldurr. Not so good for it. Then we have the Breloom, which is a little bit more glassy, counter Dynamic Punch 1414. Then we have Blaziken, counter Focus Blast 1252. And then onto the second page, we have the Heracross sitting in the 11th spot, counter Close Combat. I would love Heracross to get a more dominant fighting move. It really deserves it. I think it would be super fun to see that really get bumped up there. 1153. Then we have some Machamps. Then we have Hariyama, then we have Toxicroak, first one of the Toxicroak counter Dynamic Punch, 1063. Then we have Embar, low kick Focus Blast, 1038. And then, if you want to see the Lucario before it got the Aura Sphere, oh my goodness, 883, guys, wow. And then if you want to go onto the third page, you can go ahead and pause it here to check out any of the other DPS times TDO Pokemon. Oh my goodness, can you even believe that the Lucario is still sitting above the Conkeldurr? Holy smokes, with worse stats, but the moveset is just so powerful. As far as fighting meta attackers go, it is going to be the number one meta attacker, and it's going to be a multiple charge bar move. So it's going to be the most effective fighting attacker as of right now. It will die out a little faster. However, like I said when we were analyzing, over the lifespan of that Pokemon, delivering damage, it's going to do more damage in a shorter lifespan than a Conkeldurr is going to do over a longer lifespan. As far as meta attackers go, Conkeldurr is doing really, really well. It's number two. It's got dominant moves. It doesn't have the Aura Sphere because it would be way blown past everything else from its stat standpoint, but it is going to sit as the number two fighting attacker, so it's definitely a Pokemon worth powering up. However, right now we're not super hungry for fighting attackers. It would be a good thing to hatch some eggs, try to get 100% IVs, maybe do some cloudy weather boost raids on that timber to try to get some good quality timbers. You can always lucky trade them at some point, but I would suggest lucky trading the Lucario as of right now over the Conkeldurr because it's sitting in the number one spot. So that's where we're sitting as far as fighting attackers go. Another thing I wanted to point out, in my predictions, I predicted that Timber could potentially have a community day in 2020, along with Axew as well as Dino, I think are some of the Pokemon that could have. However, I also think that Litwick could qualify in there as well. But typically, if it were to stay on schedule and keep on going as far as the theories go, it would have to be 3 and not 4 of those guys, which it could be 4, but then that would kind of interrupt what's going on. So one could be a research day. So the other thing you may want to consider is not rushing to power up or evolve a really, really, really good quality, maybe 100%, 98%, whatever it is, as far as Timber goes, all the way into Conkeldurr, in case it does have a community day. And if it were to get a more dominant Aura Sphere move, which would be crazy as far as its attacking potential, but as, you know, maybe another move that would make it an effective, you know, second charged attack that you may actually want to have for that evolution. So that may be a reason why you don't rush to power it up and evolve it right now. We always want to play the patience game in Pokemon Go. I hope that this helped out, but now, where does Conkeldurr sit in PvP? We're going to check out Great League, Ultra League, and Master League, and what is it doing there? As far as the Great League, I think you guys might be able to guess this. It is sitting at 129 because its stats are pretty good, but it's really got a pretty high max CP, so it's really gonna thrive in some of the higher leagues with Counter, Dynamic Punch, and Stone Edge. And then if we're gonna transition into the Ultra League, it's gonna be a ranked 52. So you saw it go from 129 Great League, 52 Ultra League, can't wait to check out the Master League, same moveset of Counter, Dynamic Punch, and Stone Edge. and it's going to be the 7th best fighting attacker in the Ultra League. So now let's check out where it's going to reign supreme as far as PvP in the Master League. Just as I said, since it has a high max combat power, which is CP, all the way at the 3337, it is going to be ranked 21. It's going to be the first dominant fighting attacker in the Master League. So it's going to be number 1 for the fighting category in the Master League. Huge shakeup, something you definitely want to take into account and use for the Master League when we have the Go Battle League coming up soon. So that's gonna do it, guys. Make sure to get out there, do some timber raids. You can always lucky trade it, but I would suggest just stacking up on them and trading them in mass because they are more prevalent and easier to acquire than the Riolu. Riolu is way more rare, and I would definitely save that as the lucky trade. So thank you guys for tuning in. Let me know in the comments below now what you think. I love hearing what you guys have to say. I appreciate all you guys for being here, all my likers, commenters, subscribers, and Patreon members for taking their subscriptions to the next level. I'm gonna see you out on the next video. Peace! I just want to take a moment and sincerely thank all of my Patreon members, everybody that has taken their subscription to the next level and chosen to support me on this platform. I greatly appreciate you guys. As a growing channel and really trying to grow and improve as much as I possibly can, I really appreciate the extra support. You guys mean the absolute world to me. I cannot wait to connect with you soon, and I appreciate you guys all for being a part of the Trainer Club. I will see you guys out on the next video.